Hey there, fellow classic comic collector. As always, I'm Scott Harris King, and today I'm back with more purchases off of YouTube, some gifts that people gave me, some stuff that I got a while ago and I forgot I had and I had misplaced, so I never showed it. Just a smorgasbord, as they say in Sweden, of stuff, including a bunch of packages. I just spent 15 minutes opening these. I tried to open them in a way where I couldn't see what they were, so there's still a little bit of opening left to do. But there's a bunch of other stuff as well as these. So we're going to just jump right into it, and I want to start with a gift that I received, a couple gifts that I received from my in-laws. My wife's parents were nice enough to give me some cool comic-related stuff, and I wanted to show that to you here. We're going to start with this. It's an official branded Stan Lee Etch-a-Sketch. You can see it's got little cartoons of Stan on the frame of the Etch-a-Sketch itself. The buttons are actually little pictures of Stan Lee's face. And so it's an official Stan Lee branded Etch-a-Sketch. I'll probably just... I'm not good with an Etch-a-Sketch. Let's just put that up front. Obviously, I do like to draw on a tablet for my comics. I'm not very good with an Etch-a-Sketch. If I'm feeling super ambitious, I might try and draw something comic book on it and then just display it like that and not use it again. But it's really cool. I really appreciate it. It's a neat thing. So Stan Lee Etch-a-Sketch. Now they also got me this here. It is H.P. Lovecraft's The Call of Cthulhu. Of course, my comic Cthulhu versus Uncle Sam. The Kickstarter just wrapped up for that. And so they got me this here, which is a comic book adaptation by Dave Shepard of the original Lovecraft stories about Cthulhu. It's really cool. It's a really nice package. It's well done. So it's something where I do have a lot of Lovecraft and Cthulhu inspired mythos stuff that I'm using, but frankly I'm not that familiar with the original stories. I'm familiar with the basics. I'm familiar with the mythology, but I haven't actually read the stories that much. So this is something I'm looking forward to diving into. It's a really nice packaging. It's got this cool thing where the covers are done separately and is sort of tied together with this cool binding. So really nice package. So this is something really cool, and I appreciate getting this. I'm looking forward to diving into that. Speaking of Kickstarter, I got this a while ago, and I meant to show it off, and then I just completely misplaced it. But it's something really cool. As you know, besides Cthulhu vs. Uncle Sam, I also have my ongoing comic book series, the Crime Busters, that I do on Kickstarter. And I'm always looking for other Kickstarter projects that are operating in the same space as I am, so we can do cross promotions. And there's one that's like almost a perfect fit. There's a couple. Miskatonic High, which I talked a lot about during Cthulhu vs. Uncle Sam. But also this one here, it's called Rex Radley Boy Adventurer. And it's very much in sort of the Johnny Quest space. So the basic premise is that this is Rex Radley. He's a boy adventurer. And these are his parents here. His parents are divorced or separated. I'm not sure which. And so one of them has this super high-tech science base where Rex is getting into misadventures with kaiju and giant robots. So here's like a giant robot fighting against the kaiju. And then his other parent is in this sort of like journey to the center of the earth base where there's dinosaurs and ancient civilizations and stuff in the secret world inside the earth. So you can see that here on the cover of issue 2. So yeah, it's just really cool. In issue 2, he meets a girl adventurer, and yeah, it's just really cool. It's right up my alley, and there's some great bonus stuff that I got that came with it. I love the bonus swag. You know, with the Crime Busters, I have a Crime Busters fan club kit. We can join the Crime Busters fan club, and I specifically designed it to look like the fan clubs that comics used to have in the 40s and 50s. And he's done something similar here. It's not a full fan club package like I have, but first of all, there's this cool print of Rex with a rocket, so that's cool. But this is really cool. The Radley Adventure Club, which is a logo that he's got in the book. And it looks like, a patch that you would have like on your like Boy Scout jacket. It's a decal. And then he's got, this is really cool. It's actually a little metal enamel pin with that logo in 3D. This is really cool. And then there was some extra stuff. There's this cool double-sided Rex Radley bookmark. So on this side, it's the giant robots fighting kaiju. On this side, he's working alongside his caveman friend inside the secret jungle world. And then there's some other cool stickers. So it's a really cool package. The guy who does Rex Radley, his name is Winston Gambro. And he and I did a cross promotion when I was doing my last issue of Crime Busters. So I was really excited to get this, and then I completely just misplaced it as soon as I opened it, and I meant to show it a long time ago. But check it out online, Rex Radley Boy Adventurer. It's a really fun indie self-published comic, just like Crime Busters, where he's doing a lot of really cool work. All right, and now I've got these things. What are they? I don't know. I know what one or two of them are, right? But I don't know what they all are, and I don't know what order they're in. I'll show this one first because I did see this one when I was trying to unpack it. This came, I'm not even sure it's bagged, actually. I think it's actually with a backing board and then wrapped in bubble wrap, but I'm not sure there's a bag inside, so let's find out together. Oh, there is a bag. But this is really cool. Impulse purchase. This is not my normal focus for romance, but there's a really cool set of romance covers from Ace, 1951. Glamorous romances. They're these painted covers. This isn't the highest in demand, but I really dig it. She's got what looks like, it's almost like she's wearing it's a pin with maybe a watermelon on it, but it looks like a medal, so she looks kind of like she's wearing like a Women's Army Corps sort of thing, and she's got a very sort of 1940s hairstyle, even though it's 51. There's a reason for that, and it's because these painted covers, which are now starting to really get in demand for some of them from Ace on the romance books, they're actually repurposed. These covers were originally painted for some of the romance pulps that Ace was doing in the 40s, and then they reused the covers. It's interesting that the comics with the same covers that were reprinting those covers are worth a lot more than the original pulps that they were on. But people collect comics, and not nearly as many people collect pulps. But saw this one, the price was right for me. I think it was $15, I think. So I have had a previous one where I actually like the cover a little bit more than this, but that one was a disaster. Really rusty staples and stuff. This is low grade, but solid. It doesn't have nearly the same condition issues as the other one. So I really liked the look of the cover. It just spoke to me. Yeah. So anyway, really cool book. Again, it's not usually what I'm going for with romance. I don't tend to do the Golden Age stuff as much. Unless it's DC Big 7, but there's some really cool Ace romance. So here I'm trying to open this one. No idea what this is. It's one book sandwiched between two gigantic pieces of cardboard, and let's see if I can pry it open. Aha! Okay, this is one of my bigger purchases. I say bigger, it was $30. But this is a book that's been starting to get some heat, and I wanted to get it before it got any more heat. And it's a really nice copy of Destroyer Duck #1. Now, you might be surprised that I paid $30 for this, but actually, that's starting to be the going rate on eBay. If you go and look at nice copies of Destroyer Duck on eBay, they're trending upwards of 40 now. This has the first appearance of Gru in it. That's why it's starting to take off. In the CGC 9.8, recently sold for $500. This is not that. It's in quite nice condition. It's got a slightly ragged top edge. It looks like a production defect. I don't know. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this is a 9. So, for $30 as opposed to $500, I'm happy with it. I am, as you know, I have a big soft spot for Gru. I used to have a complete run of Gru, and I got rid of most of them, and now I'm kind of kicking myself about that. And I actually just recently decided, since I'm never going to put that run together, that I got rid of most of my issues of Gru, except for my #1, because that's a very, very special, important issue to me. But I have this real soft spot for the character, so I wanted to get the first appearance of Gru, and for $30, I thought it was a bargain. I think the things that have kind of held this back until now is that there were a lot of these printed, because it is, as it says on the cover, it says Special Lawsuit Benefit Edition #1. It's got a Kirby cover, and it's got a story by Steve Gerber. And this came out during the time when Kirby was suing Marvel, and it was like a big cause celeb in comics. So there's a lot of these printed, far more of these than, for instance, something like, I don't know, Beto #2 or a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1. The first appearance of Gru just has a lot more copies printed, but and this copy is it's just slightly miscut, but it's indie comics. What are you gonna do? So I'm just really happy to get that. It's a key book that has gone really under the radar for a long time. It's just starting to get some conversation going around it. I'm seeing here and there. So since I am a fan of Gru, I didn't want to wait and have it, 2 years. It's suddenly a $200 book instead of a $30 book. So I figure for $30, let's just get it. All right, let's see what this is. Ooh, it's some romance books. I don't remember buying these. People are like, they buy stuff drunk on eBay. I don't actually drink, so I have no excuses, but I still don't remember buying this stuff. I think this was a low-grade lot, and after I bought it, I immediately was like, I think I might have overpaid, but I don't remember. So let's take a look. First book up. Oh, yeah. Ah, yes, okay. There's a specific reason I bought these. They're all low grade, but I am actually happy with them. First up, Girls Love Story 67, a great cover. Not a hard issue to find. This comes up a lot on eBay, but the rain covers are great. The coloring is great. Just blanked on. I think it's a Bruzo. But there's, she's running out into the rain, and you can just see a guy's hand with the black umbrella. I just love the design. It's lower grade. It's had some damage along the edge. It looks like there's some water damage here that caused some color bleeding. So, it's not great, but it presents really, really well. This one's got a giant chunk out of the cover. So I got it really cheap, but it's a really cool Vince Colletta cover. It's Love Romances, number 54. Again, it's got a big piece out of the corner. I was buying from this seller already because of these other books, and so this was like $8, so I figured, but it's really cool wedding cover. And then here's the one. It's really low grade, but it's just a cool cover. I love early issues of Sweethearts. My Sweethearts 45 I've shown before. I'm a huge fan of it. Got another early issue of Sweethearts 31. If there was one, there's a couple of these Charlton books. If I was going to really get into the Charlton 50s books, True Life Secrets is kind of the big one. That's like pre-code stuff. But Sweethearts is kind of the one that I really want to collect. And so I got this low grade 41. There's a lot of issues at the Staples. Nicholas Alsatia cover. Boy Meets Girl, A Smile, A Date, then Sweethearts. So I just thought it was nice. It's a nice romance book, you know. And it says the person who sold to me has their notes on the back. And the notes say, fair to good minus, because the cover is loose and was taped back on. Inside's tight and sound. Cool cover. Yep, that's exactly right. So, yeah, 3 low-grade romance. And I'm still on the fence of whether I should have bought this one or not. But again, it was an $8 throw-in. So the condition's really low. I might have overpaid a little because I wanted this Sweetheart so bad. But, I mean, I'm not talking about a ton of money. I think it was $25 for all 3 of them. So I'm not going to complain about that. Okay, next up. Here's a book just sitting here. What is it? Let's flip it over and find out together. Oh, okay. So yeah, it's Archie 401. Recently had a giveaway, and the giveaway was won by Super Russ 9000. That was for 300 subscribers. I'll do another giveaway when we get up to either 350 or 400. So tell all your friends. And Super Russ 9000 then prize tagged Metarog, and everyone should check out both of their channels. But if you know Metarog's channel already, he collects variant stuff, and I happen to have this incredibly obscure, to the point where I've never seen another one, can't find any evidence of it online, and no one else has ever heard of it or seen it, variant of Archie 401. And you can see from the story here, it takes place at Club Med. The variant that I had was actually a complimentary Club Med version, so there was no price, there was no number. There was the comics code, I think, was here in the middle, and this was all blank. And then down here in this box, it said compliments of Club Med. So it was a Club Med version of this that you could only get at Club Med. I don't know if they had it just at the resorts or if they maybe also had it at their offices, but I can't imagine there were very many of them printed, and there are probably far fewer that actually survived, because you would had to have gone to Club Med with a kid or gotten one for a kid, and then that kid would have had to have kept it. So I think it's extremely rare, of no value to anybody, except for people that are really into variants. And so I figured, I only got it because I'm trying to put together a complete run of Archie, and as cool as it is, I don't really need it, but it's exactly the sort of thing that would fit in Metarog's collection. So I sent it to him, and I just bought a regular version of 401 for myself. Okay, still have a couple left. This one you can see it's been taped in together like this. And let's see what this is. Be very careful when they're taped this closely. Aha! Alright, it's completely beat to hell, but it's a Young Love number 69. Yes, make the jokes, make the 69 jokes. It's Young Love number 69. Romance Key, it's the only romance comic in the DC Giant series. So there's people that collect DC Giant, they put together the full run of the Giants, and so it's sort of a key. Because of that, there's a lot of crossover audiences that are collecting this. Of course, I'm trying to put together a full run of Young Love, and I'm getting close-ish. I think I'm still missing about 18 issues, but this is sort of one of the bigger ones, and I also, as you may know from watching my videos, I just don't like reprints. So I didn't care about getting this in nice condition. I'm really only getting it for my checklist because I don't care about books that are reprints as a general rule. I've been struggling to find an affordable copy of this, and finally pulled the trigger on one on eBay. It was still more than I would like to pay. I think it was $20. But it gets it off my checklist, and it's the cheapest one I've seen in a while because they're for a giant-sized, Silver Age romance with crossover appeal to other collector bases. It can be a little bit difficult to find and pricey. So I'm glad to get it, even though I don't really care that much about it. 69 off the list. All right, we got another one here. Oh, this is cool. Okay, I forgot all about this. Oh, now I'm excited because check this out. This is neat. You've all seen on multiple videos where I've been showing off my Young Romance number 150. That's the famous girl crying with the sunglasses, and in the reflection, you can see her tears are coming from the sunglasses. You can see her boyfriend is kissing another woman. Iconic J. Scott Pike comic cover. Maybe one of the most, if not the most iconic romance comic covers. It's what the romance genre is. It's just great. So I've shown that off several times. Everybody loves it. I don't remember what I was doing online, but I came across this place that had variant covers for Archie books, and they do these variant covers like $20 each. They have limited print runs, like 200 or 500, whatever. You can only get them from that comic store. It's one of those modern variant things. And for Everything's Archie number 1, Dan Parent, regular Archie artist for like the last 30 years, they had this variant cover. It's Betty, and Archie is kissing Veronica in the reflection. So this was $20 plus shipping. I don't remember how many copies were printed. I think 250 maybe. Fantastic. Absolutely love it. Tremendous. So excited. Completely forgot all about ordering that. Forgot that existed, to be honest. So that was an awesome surprise when I just opened that, because I was like, oh yeah, that's so cool. That's great. I'm very excited. But not as excited as I am for my last book. I'm going to end with this. I already got this one. This is a book where as soon as I got the email that it had arrived, I had to run out to the mailbox and get it, because this, I don't want to say Grail book, because it's not exactly that, but it's a book that I've desperately wanted for several years. When I really first got into hardcore collecting romance about 3.5 years ago, when I first got into it, I was just learning what I was doing. I was at a convention, and this guy had a pile of 50s Charltons, which I didn't know anything about at the time. And there was a really cool cover that I really wanted in it, but he wanted a little more money than I thought made sense at the time. So I didn't buy it. And then I learned a little bit more about Charlton Romance, and I discovered that I should have immediately bought it, because not only was it a really good price, but part of the thing was I was like, if I'm going to pay that much, I'd like to get it in nicer condition. There's no such thing as nicer condition. And in retrospect, that's probably the nicest copy I'm ever going to see, partially because it's impossible to find this book. So ever since then, I've been kicking myself, and I've been looking for another copy, and I've searches, saved on eBay, and I look for it all the time. And it literally never comes up. I've been looking actively for over 2.5 years for this. I particularly desperately wanted to get a copy before my wedding, for reasons that will be clear in a minute when I show it to you. And my wedding was 1.5 years ago. And there's only been one copy on eBay in the last 2.5 years, and it was a really low grade with writing all over the cover, which of course I didn't want. Not like a kid's name, like I was talking about before, but like someone had taken notes for something on the cover, so it was completely ruined. And that's the only copy I've seen for 2.5 years. And then finally, a couple weeks ago. One of them popped up on eBay. It's lower grade, but it presents pretty well. I bought it immediately. I paid 50% more for it than for the one I had in my hand that was significantly nicer. But lesson learned, I finally got it. I was so happy to get this. I love this cover so much. It's one of my top romance covers. It's just one that spoke to me and I desperately wanted. So I'm so happy to get this. I want to share it with you now. Now I can share it with you. So I don't have to keep it a secret anymore. Because this is one I didn't want any competition on. It's Brides in Love number 8. I think I mentioned this in a previous video, which was a mistake, but here it is. It's Brides in Love number 8. And I just love everything about this cover. Again, it's another Nicholas Alsacia, Alacia, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but it's one of his covers. He's one of the big Charlton Romance artists from the 50s. So we have the cover, the couple is next to their car, just married, they've got their luggage, they're on their honeymoon. They've stopped and they're looking at the road map, and the fall leaves are falling around them. Absolutely love it. You know, I'm from New England. Leaf peeping, taking road trips around to go leaf peeping is an annual tradition. My wife and I have done it multiple times, and this is like a perfect romance cover for me. It's just one of my all-time favorites. Love it. Would I like a higher grade copy? Sure. I'd like one with, this is going to be impossible to ever find, but one that's actually white. Considering this is from the late 50s and this Charlton with the cheapest paper possible, I'm guessing there probably aren't any copies in existence that are actually pure white. It has some condition issues, some tanning. So if I can find another copy, I will buy another copy. This is going to be one of those books where if the price is at all reasonable, I'm going to buy every copy I've come across, which again, is probably not going to be any, because it's so hard to find. Now, I have a few other issues of Brides in Love from the beginning of the run. And there's a couple in particular. I think I have issue 9, and it just doesn't seem to be as hard to find. It's a cool cover. It's not this cool. So anyway, so happy to finally get this. I immediately ran out to the mailbox, opened it, and I put it up on display in the living room. I've got a stand there for one comic that I put on display, and so that's going to be this one for a while. So Brides in Love number 8, one of my top romance books. If you can find one, good luck to you, and recommend everybody get one if you can find one. So there it is. That's my haul. A lot of really cool stuff, a lot of unusual stuff, different stuff than what I normally have, plus more romance, but fun stuff. So I hope you enjoyed this as much as I have, and I'll see you next time.